So here it is. Here is this big box full of classical CDs that I sold on eBay in an auction. How many CDs? Well, 170 classical CDs, and yes, it is over 40 pounds. Here they are. Oh, by the way, this is a small Lowe's moving box. It almost entirely fills up the box. Of course, there's a little bit of space here on the side, which I'm going to fill with some dunnage, as they call it. Pack that tight, put some up here. There's also some movement here. I might stick some in there. I always want to make sure when I sell and ship off a large lot of CDs that I pack it pretty tightly so that it doesn't move around very much, to hopefully prevent the cases and of course the CDs from having any damage. The CDs, for the most part, or the cases rather, the jewel cases, I believe are don't have too many cracks in them, but I don't want to cause anything like that. The other thing that I do, since I have been selling CD lots for a very long time on eBay, is I write all over the box things like very heavy, fragile media, heavy media, very heavy, fragile media. Please handle with care. Put a little face on there. So I try to make sure that I communicate as boldly and clearly as possible to the post office handlers, and especially the inspectors, that this contains media, number one, that it's fragile and that it's heavy, so that an inspector won't rip it open and take things out and not put them back, which I've had happen before. The reason they do that, well, the reason they check it is they want to make sure there's media. Why they don't put everything back, I don't know. But that has happened to me multiple times. So in order to avoid that, and this has worked so far, fingers crossed that it will continue to work, to avoid that, I've been writing all of these different phrases all over the boxes, and I haven't had an issue yet, and hopefully that continues. So just a little tip, something that's worked for me, especially these big heavy boxes. I would say anything over 20, 25 pounds. Once it gets pretty heavy for media, and of course it could be books as well, I would write the same thing, heavy. I also put fragile, even for books, just so that the handlers, when they deal with it, especially with CDs, especially with DVDs, that they're not going to be throwing it around, dropping it. It's just kind of a way to let them know and to be nice. You know, that's why I write, sometimes I write little silly messages, you know, please handle with care, smiley face, or, you know, stuff like that. It seems to make a difference. I actually had, or the reason why I put together this really big classical CD lot is because I was going through a bunch of CDs that I got in. And there was quite a lot of classical CDs. So I was sorting some of them out based upon the label they come from, but there was still a lot left. And then as I was going through existing CD lots on eBay, classical CD lots, I found that I had quite a few that had not sold yet. So I pulled all of those, pulled them together, pulled out the ones that had the same labels. So I'm talking about things like Deutsche Grammophon is one. Another one was NAXOS, Naxos or Noxos. Another one, there's EMI. There was a bunch of them that I had enough together. I had enough to put them together, and it sold really quickly. I sold almost all of those. I think there was maybe like 8 or so that I put together. Definitely less than 10, and I sold the majority of them within a few days or less than a week. But I still had a lot left, and so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to lot them up and do an auction. The other one sold buy it now, buy it now. And these, I just said, I have so many, I don't have room in my store, and plus, people don't tend to buy that many classical CDs in my store. So I just put them together in a lot and started an auction. It was a 10-day auction, just FYI, if you're looking to do this. 10-day auction on eBay. I started it on, let's see, I think on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I started on a Thursday, so 10 days, so they would end on a Sunday. I generally recommend ending them. Do not end them on a Friday or a Saturday for sure. Probably the best day is a Sunday. You can end it during the week as well on a Monday, etc., Wednesday, but I would say Sunday's probably the best because it's more likely that people will be looking on eBay and bidding and interacting more with eBay, just generally. But so that's a little tip as well. So 10 days. And also I didn't start it at $1 or anything like that. I started it in 19.99 because there's just so many. If I would have started it at 99 cents, would I have done better? I don't know. But I just felt like it was, 170 CDs, $20 is a huge, steal. So it worked out. I ended up selling it for $90 plus shipping, of course. And something else I did do, just so you know, is I used the promoted listing option, which I paid $247 for, so that the item would be promoted more and more people would see it. If I didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have got up to the $90, I assume. I've been using those for these lots, and they've been getting me more money, so that works out. It's too bad that we have to do that kind of stuff. You can't just put it on eBay and enough people see it, and it does well. Now, of course, this is an item that the CDs, they're all classical, a variety of them, different composers, different labels, that type of thing, different styles. I'm not that familiar with classical, but they are, some different ones. And so I know that there wasn't a ton of like super rare kind of stuff. Of course, if I had all classical CDs and it was from, it was all these rare ones, harder to find ones, collectible ones, then I might not have to boost it. But I think that boosting it anyway it's just gonna help you out. And for $250, $247, it was worth it. If I wouldn't have done that, if I would have said no, I don't want to spend $247, and I only would have got, let's say, $50 or $40 for it, it just doesn't make sense. So to spend $250 and get all the way up to $90, by the way, which is pretty good, when you're dealing with something that you just want to get rid of and you want to make some money for it, I'm all for it. 170 CDs, it's a lot of CDs. I could have gone through and just pulled out all the discs, put them in a loose CD lot that would have been part of a lot of different music, and I could have sold it that way. But I figured that classical music fans would go for this, and it went well. So that's a little backstory on that. I was also able to just clear out a lot of space in a lot of these boxes where I am storing CD lots as well as other types of lots. So I've freed up a lot of space because 170 CDs takes up a lot of space, as you can see, an entire box. So I was able to add, have space now so I can add more future CD lots and anything else that I want to sell on eBay in a lot that I need to store. I store all of my lots here in the warehouse. So these are all book lots up there. There's some DVD lots in this one, and these are all CDs, etc. So a bunch of DVDs. There's also some books mixed in there. And I will occasionally go through them and pull some out that I haven't sold in a while, or if there's a better way that I can sell them like I did with these CDs, then it makes more sense that way. I strongly recommend utilizing auctions on eBay if you're getting a lot of excess inventory. Especially for CDs, especially for DVDs. Books are a little different. You really only want to do an auction if it's the same topic, the same niche, the same author, the same series, that kind of thing. I usually do buy it nows for book auctions. So I'm mostly talking about CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays. You could do video games as well if you have a lot of excess video games that you are not going to sell individually. Like loose video game lots will do well. That kind of thing. If you have random ones that you want to just get rid of, you can probably sell those off. You can do the same thing. VHS tapes, not so much unless it's the same type of tapes, or maybe if they're all sealed, that's good. A bunch of sealed VHS tapes in an auction will do well. I've done that before. If you have laser discs, if you have cassette tapes, so a lot of that stuff, it makes sense to do auctions because you're guaranteed. You're not guaranteed, but you're pretty much guaranteed to sell it if you're really looking to move it quickly. And if you're starting at low at like 99 cents, and especially if you're promoting it, you're probably going to get at least some money for it, right? I'm happy with the $90 because that's a good amount. These are CDs that weren't selling, and some of them that I knew I couldn't do anything else with them, so that I just make some money off of them, clear out all that space, and then use that money to buy more inventory, etc., etc. I just want to show you before ending the video that I'm super happy about this. What do you see? Well, that truck is always there. Then there's an SUV. That's the only other vehicle on this whole side from here all the way over that is here. It's a Monday. I didn't even say what day it was. It's a Monday, March 27th, 2023. But I love that it's all free. Previously, we had a tenant over here who was perfectly fine and nice. Nothing wrong with them. Just that they had a lot of people coming in. They had 3 to 4 cars always parked here. They had other work trucks coming in and out all day. And yeah, it wasn't quiet. And now it's super quiet and zen, and I love it. And on this side, it's only a few trucks, a few vehicles, which is normal and fine. And I'm totally okay with. And so yeah, it's a much calmer, not only less vehicles, it's just quiet. So now on a Monday, when I usually spend Mondays restocking the store, my store here, for this week's sale, which is what I'm gonna do today, the next couple of hours. Now it's just calm, quiet. I can also make a video without having to worry about people walking past, interrupting me feeling awkward. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna spend the rest of the time, or spend the next couple hours. Probably won't even take that many hours. Maybe an hour and a half anyway, we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I love making these videos. I'm glad that I've got back into making them in 2023. Hope you're enjoying them. If you have ideas for other videos, let me know. I'll try my best to do it. If you have questions about what I do or specific things you want to know about, let me know in the comments below and see if I can help you out or talk about those things. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. This is 510 Books. I'm Andrew. I talk about reselling books and media, books, music, movies, video games, that kind of stuff. And I sell stuff on Amazon, eBay, as well as here in my store. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Take care.